Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Tech Talk. So today we are going to see how to develop a cloud application for the employee management system using the Spring Boot and MySQL DB. So we are going to develop some REST API endpoints. So we are now start.spring.io. From here we can generate the Spring applications. So I'm going to give here a group ID as a Tech Talk, and then we're going to add some artifact ID and the name. I'm adding here Spring Code app as a name, and then after that we are going to add here a description, which is the employee management system. So in which we are going to create, edit, and delete employees with the REST endpoints. Then packaging and Java version are same. So now we are going to add dependencies here. First one we are going to add is a web dependency. After that we are going to add a JPL dependency. Then third one we are going to add MySQL driver, and after that we are going to add a Lombok dependency, which is used for less code coverage. Okay, now we are going to add a last dependency, that is dev tools. Okay, it's ready now. So now we are going to generate a project. We will extract it and open it in IntelliJ IDE. So our project is ready now. We are opening it in IntelliJ IDEA. So inside source, you can see here the main class file is there. So now we are going to add some new packages here. So first one will be here. We are going to add is a controller package. Then after that we are going to add as a next package called as a service. Then another package we are going to add as a model, and the last one we are going to add is a uh, yeah, the last one is a CRUD repositories, service repositories. Okay, so now inside model class we are going to create one Pojo class of the employee. Here we are going to add some dependencies. So first annotation will be it is a entity class. Entity annotation will be added. After that we are going to add some Lambok annotations like data, no argument constructor, and all argument constructor. So it will generate all the getter setters and constructors for us, so we don't need to write code for the generating getter setters. So first one we are going to add as id, which is of integer type, and we are going to add here as annotations generate value, so it will automatically generate the ids. Also we are going to add another annotation called as id. Okay, now we are going to add name, then another attribute email, and the last one is a salary. Okay, that's it, our employee class is ready now. Now you're going to create one controller class, Java class. From here we are going to create some endpoints. So here we are going to add annotation as a REST controller. Also, we are going to add a request mapping for it is employee. Yeah. After that, we are going to create a new Java class. It is a repository which is of interface, which will extend repository JPA repository. And in a JPA repository, we are going to pass two parameters. First one is our employee, and second one is a type of ID, which is of integer type. Okay, now we're going to create one service class. You can give any name here, which will which have annotation as service. After that, we are going to acquire some dependencies. First one is for the JPA repository. Okay. Similarly, inside a controller, we are going to annotate a service, private employee service. Okay. Now we are going to add some endpoints here. So first one is whenever we want to add new employee, so we have to post some data. That's why we are using here post mapping, and endpoint is our add employee. So we are going to write a method here, which is of type return type employee. Okay, and we have to pass the employee object. So we have to add another annotation as a request body, and now we are going to call that service object and pass that employee object to the add employee method inside the service class. So as you can see here, so red is there, so that means that method was not there. So if you are using IntelliJ IDEA, then just click on Alt Enter, then it will be create another method inside service class. So here we have created another method in service class also. Now similarly, we have to add another more than one employees. So that's why we have to pass the list of employee objects here, and return type also list of employees. So and the post mapping is that for this is add employees. Add all employee is our method, which will pass employees as list of employees. Now we have to call it on service method. We will create another method, add all employees, and we will pass the employees object inside that method, and we just alt enter on that red thing, and all the new method will be generated inside service class. Now we are going to call it on repository, employee repository, which will have method as a save all. We will pass the employee. Okay, that's it. So all good now. From now we are going to get employee ID, get employee by its ID. So here we are using now get mapping, get employee by ID, and yeah. So we are now writing a method which is of type return type employee. Here we have to pass we have to use path variable and int ID. So we have to use here also pass from get mapping ID. Now we will call it with create method on inside employee service. So path variable is nothing but we have to pass through a URL. Similarly, we have another method, find by ID, in employee repository. We have to pass the ID. Okay. So yeah. Now next method, get employee by name. So we are going to pass a name as parameter from URL, which is a path variable, and we are going to call it new method on on employee service object. Okay, we are passing path variable name. Now I am clicking as a alt enter to create a new method. Okay, new method is generated, and now we are going to click on, yeah. So we are using here find by name, which is not there inside repository. So we are going to alt enter on that, and it will be generate automatically for us. So that's it. Now after that, we are going to create another method, another endpoint, REST endpoint, which is for update employee. So here also we have to pass the employee as a parameter. Here we are using put mapping to update employee, and our endpoint is update employee, which will return as employee. We are passing a request body parameter employee, and now we are calling it on employee service. The new method is generated here. Similarly, now we are here creating one existing employee ID, existing employee object, and we are going to check if that employee of particular ID is present or not. If not, then we are just creating new employee. New employee. Okay, and now we are checking if existing employee is null, then we are directly saving that employee object inside the repository. Else we are going to there is not any method call for the object update. So here we are going to check it, and we are going to create a new object. We will delete the previous one, and after that we are going to, yeah, after that we are going to save that method. After that we will return employee. So that's it. Now delete employee. We are using here delete mapping. Delete employee by ID. This is our endpoint. Which will of type boolean. So delete employee by ID. You are passing here path variable as ID. We have created. We are going to create a new method for deleting an employee. So all the methods are present inside repository. So here JPA repository is there. So all the methods like save all, delete, find by ID. So all methods are there. So now we are just checking if that ID, if that employees exist with that particular ID. Yeah. So if that employee is exactly not equal to null, then we are going to delete it and we will return true. Otherwise, we will return false. So here you can see. So employee repository dot delete by ID method is there. Okay. So here we are going to return true. Let me add curly braces. Else we are going to return false. Okay. That's it. So we have developed all the methods for CRUD applications. Okay, now we are going to add some data related MySQL related points. Here we have changed the server port and we have added some dependencies as a URL, username, password for database. Also we have created database here using query, and show SQL is true. That means it will show all the queries inside our terminal. Okay, now we will run our application. As you can see, our application is running and it is started on port 9190 sorry 9091. So we are going to hit that particular endpoints through our postman. First one is for post and employee. So here you can change our return type. Inside body raw, we have to add our data which we are going to pass through that particular URL. Also it is in the form of JSON only. Okay, so we will hit enter on send button. You can see data is present there. That means it is written inside the database. Now we are going to create another method which will be for send all employees. So here you can pass more than one employees. Okay, similarly inside body raw we are going to pass JSON objects. So I have data present, so I hit enter. So you can see two employees, also new employees added inside database. Now we are going to check it for employee by sending ID if that employee is present or not. Okay, you can see the employees with ID 1 is present. Now we are going to add another method which is of type put, which is used for updating the employee, existing employee. Update employee. inside body raw text JSON. Okay, so here we are going to paste some data, so that will be required. Okay, here we have updated its salary to 55,000. As you can see, the data is added inside our database with the 55,000 salary. And the last one, we are going to use it for delete. So as you can see, it is returning true. That means the employee details from the database has been deleted successfully. So you can see here inside our terminal, so there are lots of queries there. So that is because we have added the property show SQL inside our resource file application.properties. So all the queries will be which are there. So now inside MySQL database, you can see the tables are created. Okay, so all the results are there. Okay, that's it for the video, guys. If you like the video, please like, share and comment below. Also don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.